Welcome back to the Hudson Academy online training module for microblading. And today we are going to take a look at how to create brow strokes. Okay, so when you guys hear me say brow strokes, I'm actually referring to what you're doing with your blade. So you want to create incisions into the brow to mimic the natural brow hairs. Okay, so in order to make a very natural looking brow in the microblading process, we want to kind of understand how the hair grows. Okay, so the hair growth of a brow looks something like this. In the front of the brow, it grows very straight. Okay, then it actually gets to curving over, and by the time it hits that arch, it's growing downward. Okay, so it may look something like this. All right, so we are going to do, I'm going to give you guys a very simple technique, very basic and fundamental for you guys to kind of mimic something like this and repeat every time. So I want you guys to write this down. We have our ones, our twos, our threes, and our V's. So you can see here, I already have a frame drawn out, okay? So I'm going to split up this brow into 4 sections. All right. So above your ones, twos, and threes on your sheet, I want you guys to draw out a brow frame. It can be any type of shape, but I want it to be fairly large so we can draw the strokes within there. All right, so split up your brows into 4 sections. Your ones are going to start here. Your ones are going to look very straight. And your ones are going to be your shortest section of the brows. Okay, so we can see the strokes that I made here. I only drew 3 lines, and you're just going to put that in the head of the brow. Easy. All right. Then you have your twos, okay? So I'm going to use another color to draw my twos so we can really distinguish those different brow strokes. Now your twos are going to lean over a little bit. They're going to be angled, and they're also going to come in pairs. Something like this. Now we see one line is coming from the bottom and it's stopping in the middle of the brow. The other line is starting in the middle and coming all the way out to the top. So the biggest thing I want you guys to remember is to angle your brows, okay? Brow hairs do not just grow all straight like this, okay? You'll never get a natural brow if all of your brows are straight. So you really want to start to angle over your twos, okay? So I'm going to draw maybe 3 or 4 pairs. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, you see that? Now, the next thing I want you to draw is your threes. Your threes are almost flat. They're very, very angled and very flat. By the time you get into the body of the brow on a natural, brow, we can see those hairs are just very flat. So your threes are going to take up most of the brow, and they're going to be super flat, okay, like this. So 1, 2, 3. One line is going to come from the bottom, and then you're going to have 2 floating lines. Okay, so one is starting in the middle, coming up. The second one is starting where the other brow incision left off and coming all the way to the top. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. All right, and we are already here in the tail of the brow. Now in this section, you want to draw your V's, okay? So your V's are literally going to be a V shape throughout the tail of the brow. So from the top, we're coming down. From the bottom, we're coming up. From the top, we're coming down. From the bottom, we're coming up. Okay? So do we kind of see, it's starting to look like a natural brow. All right. So let's do this one more time. And feel free to pause the video and just practice your 1s, your 2s, your 3s within your frame and your brows sectioned off into your 4 different sections. The next brow I'm going to draw, I'm not going to split it up, and I want you guys to just kind of make a continuous 1s, 2s, 3s throughout the section. Okay. So I'm going to make one more brow. Okay, and I'm going to use one color throughout the whole thing. So we're going to start with our 1s. Let's do 3 lines. We're going to do our 2s. It's coming in pairs, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and then my 3s, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we can start doing our V's. From the top, we're going down. From the bottom, we're going up. Top, we're going down. Bottom, we're going up. Okay, so this is your basic brow strokes. If you guys can remember your 1s, your 2s, and your 3s, you guys are well on your way to creating the perfect, most natural brow in microblading. Okay, so practice, drawing out your frame, section off your brows, and do your 1s, your 2s, your 3s throughout the whole thing. Okay, when you're ready, when you think you got it down on paper, maybe try with your skins. Take out your skins and a blade and go ahead and start cutting into your skins the same concept, your 1s, your 2s, your 3s, and your V's. Make sure your V's are always going, making its way down in the tail, and make sure you're angling out each section. Your 1s very straight, your 2s angled, and your 3s very flat. Okay? So that's pretty much it to it. That's all you have to know for creating your brow strokes. So let's get to practicing, and I'll see you guys on the next module. Boop.